Hello, everyone. In this section, we are going to talk about system call handlers. When it comes to Cisco Unity connection, call handlers play extremely critical roles. Many times, your client would ask you to design an auto attendant, which is like a call flow tree, wherein the caller is asked various menu options. Press 1 for HR, 2 for accounts, 3 to talk to the operator, and so on. To design that, we have system call handlers in place, which helps us organize the call flow and then allows the caller to press inputs, make selections, and you know it reaches the call to the desired place where the caller wants it to. Now, the auto attendant or a small version of IVR is pretty much achievable without any additional licensing involved. So that's the beauty of system call handlers, because if you want to develop an IVR in Cisco Contact Center or any contact center, certain licenses are required. But then when it comes to Cisco Unity connection, it can pretty much develop small to large scale auto attendant or an IVR, which can then in turn uh, hunt to a group of end users and can navigate the callers to a call which is pre-decided and designed by the developers. So the call handlers uh, are you know uh, you know uh, pre-created in the system, uh, which are these three. I have not created any new call handler to the system as of now, but these are the default ones for any Unity connection version. When you install it, you would come to the system call handler page. You would see it right here. We can copy them, we can edit them, but we cannot delete them. So if you see, we do not have an option to edit delete them basically, 'cause, we cannot select them and then remove. But the one we create by add new, we can always go ahead and delete them. So let's go ahead and talk about the call handlers. But before going to the configuration side of it, let's discuss about the call creation plan, the call flow diagram, which is very necessary. And many a times you would see that the customer would take much more time to finalize the call plan, the call flow. Uh, so when you as an administrator work to create an auto attendant, it's pretty much, being to and fro from your design to customer review and then their feedback. They would come back and ask you to make some changes again because the call flow tree or the call flow did not appear to be nicer. They would ask you to make some changes to the greetings and so on. But it's fun to design it. Once the call flow diagram is finalized, that's where the job becomes pretty easier for an administrator to configure the auto attendant. But having said that, it's fun as well, and it's pretty important for you to have a call management plan, a call flow diagram in place, which is finalized and approved by the customer. So a typical call flow diagram with a basic stuff looks like this: that someone calls from outside and here's some greeting like, hello, thank you for calling ABC Corporations. You may enter an extension at any time, or if you know your party's extension, please dial that or press 555 for directory assistance. For auto department, press 1. For job openings, 2. For operator assistance, 0, and so on. So based on the caller input, then the call goes to the either to the operator, which is most likely a human, and then the operator decides which department this end user needs to connect to, or which person this user needs to connect to. So one, two, or different options you can choose and navigate through the next level. So let's say the caller presses one, and the caller again here the greeting like, to place an order press 1, or to check the status of an order press 2. And the caller again chooses one of the options. So let's say the caller chose place an order. So it again gives the caller a greeting. To place an order, right, you need to have such things ready at hand. And then the caller basically transfer the calls to the order department, where there is a live executive sitting with this computer with all database and accounting software open, and takes the order from the customer, and the customer makes the payments and so on. So it's pretty useful, and many of the companies, they have their auto attendant in place. So at any point in time, if the customer wants to go to the main menu, he can press star and go back to the main menu and can choose the options back again, or the operator can transfer the call back to the routes and so on. So this is very important part, wherein you got to divide your call flow into branches and then let the caller choose from the options. Once this part is done, you as an administrator are pretty much good to go with. All you need now is the actual .wav file, the audio file, right, where the greetings are recorded. And they are professional companies. Your customer will go to them, give them the text like this: hello, this is ABC Corp, and so on. And with their sweet voice, they'll record in particular format, and the recording company would send the recordings to the customer, and then the customer will give you the greetings for each level. Once the greetings are in place, when the call flow is finalized, you're good to play ahead with system call handlers, and you're going to create the entire auto attendant or a small version of IVR. So let's go to the call handlers now and explore how we can create one. So I just clicked on the opening greeting one, right? And we can go and explore the different options which are there. So you can make certain changes to the display name, which is a mandatory field to configure. The phone system with which this opening greeting is this call handler is associated with. The schedule, obviously, very important. What time will be the standard hours and what time will be the closed hours. So for example, if you see, we have got 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday mentioned here. We can edit it from here, and then it will allow us to choose from what time to what time we want to keep the queue open, or the system, this basically the call handler live. I'm going to go back to this call handler, and just like an end user, it has got a recorded name, and so on. And you can give an extension as well to this call handler. All right, so with this, let's go ahead and create a small version of call handler. I'm going to create a new call handler, and I would call it main menu. And I would give it extension 1000. And the call handler template is predefined templates in place to the system. You could find out about the templates right here under template option. So I'm not gonna create new one, but I'm gonna use an existing one, which is a pre-configured one. So based on this call handler template setting, this new call handler will be created. Let's hit on save, and we'll be good to play around with our newly created call handler called main menu. Now, this call handler is created, very good. It tells us the time it is created, the phone system, that is the call manager it is associated with, the active schedule, right? All hours, voice recognition, update schedule, weekdays, and so on. These are pre-created ones, and we'll talk about the schedules and how we can create it from, uh, you know, from the menu on the left-hand side. So right here, you could see the schedules are created, and that's what you got to choose it from the drop-down menu right here. So we'll go and explore about these all options, but for now, let's concentrate on call handlers. So our call handler is just created, and we could see that the language is selected to uh, English United States, and we can also choose from which time zone this call handler depends, is created. Uh, for instance, a Unity connection in Europe may cater to different countries. For example, Germany, France, UK, they all will have their own different time zones. So you can create multiple call handlers and choose the time zone you want to place this call handler to. So I'll keep it to the system default and leave it to English United States. I'll not have a recorded name here because I do not have any audio file created for it. For now, let's go ahead and explore different options. So call handler basic is this particular page. Now let's talk about the greetings first of all. That's where the callers hear, the prompt basically. All right. So this is the standard greeting which plays when the schedule is active. Remember that we had an active schedule selected on the call handler page. So let me go ahead and take you there back again so you could relate to it. So if you see active schedule, all hours, so it is like 24 cross 7, all hours, Monday to Friday, not Monday to Friday, but all 7 days, and then 24 cross 7. So this call handler is all time active. So the greeting which is going to be played uh, would be standard for all time, because standard is the greeting which plays during open hours. Since we have the active schedule to be 24 cross 7, this call handler would always play the standard greetings. So now this is very important. Greetings play a critically important role here in the call handler. So you got to understand which greeting does what. These are uh, the predefined greetings which are there, and most important are these two, standard and closed. Rest of them are optional and you can choose them based on the need. But standard and closed are pretty important. So standard, like I said, are those greetings which will be played when the schedule is active on the call handler. And closed is just the reverse of standard, which is when the office business hours is finished and it's time for off business hours, when the production units are closed, when the company is closed. You want to have a different greeting recorded for your callers, you can come and configure it right here. So let's go ahead and enter the standard greeting and see various options for the greetings. So right now this call handler says that the system default greeting will be played, right? Which will be like record your message at the tone, and some basic greeting. What you're gonna do is, because you do not definitely want to let the callers hear like uh, welcome to Unity Connection. I mean, that's absurd, right? For any company, they would have their own personalized, professionally recorded greetings. So to upload that and to make that effective, you must come here and check this option, which is my personal recording, right? And uncheck this option, which is like record your message after the tone prompt, at the tone prompt. So they would hear whatever you're gonna upload down below over here. So we check this option, what callers hear. This is the first thing we did. And we checked my personal greeting. And then we came down, skipping all the options, right? And over here, we see that it has got this small little toolbar wherein you can upload the file by clicking this up arrow and a bar above it. So we can click over here and then we can have our recordings in place. So for now, let's use a tool to record our greeting. All right, so most of the time I use SoundRec 32, which is a freeware, and you'll be glad to know that this is nothing but Windows XP sound recorder, which is obsolete now, but it really worked wonder. So I have already downloaded it, and you can go ahead and download it from internet. It's available at many places. So I already downloaded this Windows XP sound recorder, which I'm going to use to record my sound. Uh, this is going to be the opening greeting, right? Because we are going to ask the caller to press 1 for HR, 2 for accounts, 3 for orders, and so on. So let's give it a try. Since I do not have any transcript, it's better that I just type in my greeting and I can read it out and I record it. So I would say, welcome to ABC Corp. Press 1 for orders, press 2 for uh, technical support, press 3 for, let's say, operator, press 9 for directory uh, of users, right? Press star to repeat, and let's say press hash to go back to the main menu. So this is what we created, all right, and this is will be recorded as an audio file for the callers to hear. So here we go. I'm recording my audio. Welcome to ABC Corp. Press 1 for orders. Press 2 for technical support. Press 3 for operator. Press 9 for directory of users. Press star to repeat. Press hash to go back to the main menu. So just stop recording and I'm gonna save it, right? And I would say main menu prompt, right? And I will make sure that it is configured under the right recording format, which is CCITT ULAW, right? 8 kilohertz, 8-bit mono, 7 KB per second. So make sure that you have this. And if you do not have it, right, there are many supported recording formats, but Unity Connection for sure supports this, and this lets the file size to be very, compact, and it's easier for you to upload it quickly. So I generally use 8 kilohertz, 8-bit mono, and MULAW, CCITT ULAW. So the sound recorder gives you this option. You can go ahead and choose from different options, but make sure for Unity Connection, you select only these options, CCITT ULAW and 8 kilohertz 8-bit mono. I'm gonna say OK. So it's gonna now save my recording on my desktop as main menu prompt save. Let me go ahead and play it once just to hear whatever I have spoken is done well. Welcome to ABC Corp. Press 1 for audio. Press 2 for technical support. Press 3 for operator. Press 9. All right, so it has recorded, and we are good to have this main menu prompt uploaded. I have got a pre-recorded off business hours prompt as well. So I'm gonna use these two. So this is what is like uh, with various options that we recorded like this, and this off business hours is like our business hours is Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and so on. So I'm gonna use these two to have my call handlers ready with the greeting. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and click here, go to the desktop, main menu prompt, and done. Uh, Now I'm gonna go ahead and click on save here, and it's gonna upload my file down here. And I can test it. It's 19 seconds now. It shows right here, and that's precisely was the size of my recording, 19 seconds. All right, so I've successfully uploaded the greeting over here. Now anyone who reaches this call handler will have, you know, uh, will hear this greeting options based on the standard hours, standard greeting options. All right, so let's explore the other options as well. Now, what next? What after the caller hears the greeting, right? The greeting is uploaded. I mean, uh, the audio file like this is uploaded to the call handler. Now is the time to configure for us different options, right? What happens when the caller presses different key inputs, right? So we let the caller hear different options that the caller has. Now let's configure them. So let's go to edit and caller input. Now caller input, you would see that are not configured right now. So let's configure one by one. This is our call flow, which says press 1 for orders, right? 2 for technical support, 3 for operator, and so on. So you would notice that now we can configure these options, right? But we cannot configure the rest of the options, because for rest of the options to be created, we need to have these call handlers also created. So we'll go ahead and create certain call handlers so that we can configure the caller input from here. Uh, so let's configure those which can be configured at this point in time. So star to repeat, we can go to the star option and could say, you know what, you need to basically go ahead and go back to the main menu, right? So the caller would press star and would go back again to the main menu, which is the current option right now. And what would the caller hear? The caller here hears the greeting, and does not, the call is not transferred anywhere, but the caller hears the greeting. So we've chosen very carefully, go directly to the greeting options here. Save. So caller input star is configured. Now I'm going to go ahead and configure caller input hash. So now what does hash has to say? Press hash to go back to the main menu. At this stage, this is not really, I mean, important, because we are on the level 1 itself, right? So it's like we are right here. So if the caller wants to repeat, right, he already reaches this level, right? So but let's say, we still want to have this configured because we have configured it like this. So we're gonna say it again to the call handler, go back to the main menu, which is actually the root of the call, go directly to greetings, save it. Now let's say that the orders, press 1 for orders is basically an end user, okay, with a phone, sitting, waiting for the call to arrive, right? So let's configure number 1 option here, caller input 1. I click key 1, and now I'm going to say what does the caller should get, right? I'm going to say transfer the call to extension, right? Certain extension, right? That I would be enabling here. I would say transfer to alternate contact number. And the moment you choose this option, you will notice that extension or URI field, which was grayed out before, now is highlighted. So if you have hang up or ignore anything, you cannot fill this form. The moment you choose this option, here you go. Now let's say this is to go to extension. The auto department is at extension 6000, right? So let's put it 6000 here. Now, what do we want to do? Do we want to transfer it immediately, or do we want to do it supervised? Let's do it release to switch, which is like immediate transfer to the person. Let's hit save here. Let's configure caller input number 2. Let's say it is 6001. I'm gonna go ahead and say, sorry, caller input 2 this time. So I've got to select the key value 2 from ignore to transfer to alternate contact number, and I would say 6001. Save it. Now the third one says to the operator, let's say caller input, operator's number is extension 6002. So I'm gonna put it in here, 6002. Save it. All right, so now let's go back to the caller input page. So I have got a table which I can show it to you. So now we see that it's not ignore key for option 1, 2, 3. For 0 right now, it's set to ignore key. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This all are set to ignore key, meaning that if the caller presses anything which has got ignore key option selected uh, as an action, right, nothing would happen. So that's like they are disabled right now. Now let's go ahead and see our call flow, which demands that press 9 for directory of users, right? So let's go ahead and configure 9 here. And what do we want? We want, you would see that there's directly an option here, which is called directory handler, which is by default only 1 at this moment because we have not talked about or created any directory handler. So we're gonna leave it for the system directory handler and save it. So what directory handler does is basically it asks the caller type in the first and the last name of the caller of the person you want to reach, and then the caller uh, dials the number based on the alphabet uh, mapped on their keypad. For example, if you would notice the phone, right, you have got 2 with ABC, right, uh, and 3 with DEF, 4 with GHI, right, and so on. So the older times like this one, right, or like this one, the Nokia ones, they used to have these caller, uh, mobile keypad. So based on the number the caller wants to reach, right, can choose that option. And for example, if it has to type John, so you can type J is located on number 5. Let me go ahead and give it a shot here. So yeah, for example, John, right? So the customer can say 5 for J, then O. O is right here 6, then H number 4, and then N number 6 again. So 5, 6, 4, 6. So the directory handler will hear that, will get that, and will say, okay, uh, there are two results, John Doe and John Cena. Press 1 for John Doe, press 2 for John Cena. So you would say press 1. And this is how your call will be transferred to that person. That's what the directory handler does. So let's save it. So we have now configured directory handlers as well. We have configured pretty much all the options that we talked about. So let's go to the tabular format one more time and see what we have configured so far, just to verify. So press star, and the action is go to the main menu, star, send caller to main menu again. 1, 2, 3, two different options that we've configured, 6000, 6001, 6002. And 9, send caller to system call handler, right? All right, so if we want to make it further, right, in different levels, right, we can transfer the call to different call handler as well. For example, we can select from here different call handler. But for now, just for the sake of simplicity, let's go ahead and configure this call handler over here. All right. Okay, so here is our call manager server 10.10.20.1, and here are the list of devices, and I've got this Jabber device registered right now. Since it's a lab environment, I do not have multiple instances of Cisco Jabber running, but I have configured these 3 extensions that we created for our call flow. 6000 orders, 6001 for technical support, and 6002 for operator. I've configured all these 3 lines right here on the top 3 lines on Cisco Jabber. Right, so here is my Jabber configured and registered. And if you see that it's able to display the 3 extensions configured on the call manager side. So it's successfully registered. Now it's time to test the IVR that we created. For that, I have got a directory number, you know, 1000. Basically, that was the call handler extension, right? So if you remember that we, gave 1000 to the main menu option. So we're going to call that 1000 extension, and we should be able to hear these options. All right, so let me log into Unity connection. PSD. All right. Administrator. Wow. Sometimes it does that problem, to the known problem that you got to remove the last portion of the URL to get into it. All right, so I'm into Unity connection. Let's go to the system call handler under call management, and let's go to the one that we created. Main menu, remember that we have given it 1000 extension right here. So just to verify. Okay, so we have 1000 right here, extension number created. All right, so with this Jabber endpoint, I'm gonna make a call to extension 1000. Let's go and find out first of all what is extension 1000. So I'm on the call manager, and I have got one of the device wherein I have configured extension 1000. which is simply forwarded to voicemail. All right, so I've come to call routing, route plan report, search for 1000, which is mapped to this device here. And if I take a look at extension 1000, I have simply forwarded it to voicemail. Forward all to voicemail. So right below the option voicemail, we have got forward all check for voicemail. All right, so we are all set to test our call handler here. Let me just go ahead and try to adjust its screen size. Right, so I'm gonna dial 1000, which is 1000, the call handler that we created from main menu. Dial.
Welcome to ABC.
All right, I'm hearing the menu here. Welcome to ABC Corp. So let's say I press here 1. So it says wait while I transfer your call. And now here you go. I've received the call as an incoming call for orders. And it says 6000 to 6000 basically because I'm the one who's dialed it and I'm the one who's receiving it. So I reached the voicemail of 6000. Now I was successfully able to reach extension 6000. Now I'm gonna make a call to 1000, which is the call handler, and select option 2. All right, I'm hearing the greeting. Now I'm pressing 2. It says now wait while I transfer your call. All right, here I received the call from 6000 from orders to technical support 6001. All right, very well. And now let's try the option 6002 similarly. I'm gonna dial 1000 and say option number 3. Wait while I transfer your call. And there you go. I started to receive the call on my Jabber, which is extension 6002. All right, so these 3 tests successful. Let's proceed further. I'm gonna go press 9 for this time so that it allows me to go for directory of users. That's the directory handler we created there.
Welcome to ABC. Press 1.
So press 9 for directory, right? So I'm gonna say 9. So now it says press the first and last and first name. So I'm gonna say USER pound. So it says no matching name, right? So I'm gonna try now Smith, okay? SMITH pound. So it says for Joe Smith. Some say pound. So it says now wait while I transfer your call. So now it's going to attempt for extension 1001 for Joe Smith. And it says now Joe Smith is not available. So I was able to successfully find the user Joe Smith on the directory handler. And it attempted to transfer the call to Joe Smith, but Joe Smith was not available. And I was able to reach the voicemail of Joe Smith. All right, so similarly, we can test quickly option star and hash as well. So let's go ahead and do it.
Welcome to ABC.
So it says star. So it says welcome to ABC Corp. Press 1 and it's giving me the menu options. Now let's press star here so that it starts to repeat.
Welcome to ABC.
Very well, it started to repeat now. Very well, started to repeat again. All right, so now let me test the hash key as well. Again, because we have set this setup as well for repeating, star and hash, pretty much they're doing the same stuff because we're transferring the call back to the main menu. So it's working. All right, so this level of call handler handling the call is successfully done, and we were successfully able to achieve, the basic call handler setup, and we can further enhance it, right, and create more complex uh, call flow diagram, and we can successfully implement that and test it as well. So with this, I will close this session, and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks. Goodbye.